Welcome to the Combative Nerds Podcast. Join us.
Hey guys, we don't have time for intros or traffic signals. This is a rapid fire episode. Let's get to it. Oh, an IEG. My bad. Sorry about your cat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us today. It is September 20th, 2022. This is Raiderlance and
Icy Hiding Home.
How you doing, brother?
What's going on, boss?
Not a whole lot. Thank you for joining us. We are going to experiment with a little bit different format. This is going to be our rapid fire episodes. Instead of hearing our long-winded pontifications about stuff we don't understand, we're going to do very short topics about stuff we likely don't understand. So today, what we are going to experiment with, first topic, is going to be origins of Black Panther, theories about Wakanda forever. But before that, I know we are audio and not video. Just want to let you all know that IEG is celebrating his Pride Month in honor of his new chair that he got for his studio. And I just want to say that's very liberal of you, and I'm happy that you're so welcoming and inclusive, and just it's on full display there. So I like the chair.
Yeah. Well, feel free to invite me out to dinner later. I will probably accept because I'm fat.
So for everybody who can't see, he has a rainbow chair. And I asked him, I'm like, how do you go about deciding to get a rainbow chair or not? And so I just figured it was for Pride Month. I mean, I don't know what other reason you would get a neon blue, yellow, green chair circling your head like a halo. Oh, that's awesome. He turned off the lights and all of the LEDs kicked on. All right, I'm just really being jealous here and crapping all over his chair because I don't have one. So, okay. Origins of Black Panther, theories about Wakanda forever. I know nothing about this topic. So, brother, enlighten me.
All right. So do you know anything about the origins of Black Panther, period? Like besides like what you've seen in the movies?
I watched the movie and I enjoyed it, and that was about it.
Okay. So the storyline's very similar in the comic books. Black Panther first made its appearance in Fantastic Four number 52, I think. Don't quote me. But it was in the 1960s. And the storyline, from what I remember, is fairly similar in the comic books as it is in the movies. You know, obviously his father dies. He takes the throne.
Right.
They mess with the origins a little bit about the power and that kind of stuff, how you get the power in the...
From the ritual and that flower they ate?
Yeah. So it differs slightly from the comics than it does the movie. But they did that mostly for like filming purposes and that kind of stuff, I'm sure.
Okay.
So Black Panther actually makes several appearances before he gets his own spinoff, his own comic book. And that comic book is like really strong. In the 80s, he really made like a big presence, right? Like the Black Panther comic book series like really hit its stride in the 80s. And then again in the early 90s, he got like another reinvention. But it wasn't really until Black Panther movie and then his appearance in Civil War and that kind of stuff that like he had as much fandom and respect as he has now. So it's pretty awesome to see how they developed that character over the last, 6 or 8 years.
Was he just kind of like a fill-in Avenger or affiliate Avenger before that? In the comic books, not the MCU.
Yeah, so like he had his own storyline, and like a lot of the storylines were good. Some of them were pretty awful, but none of the like original Black Panther series like really stood out too much. It was always like his guest appearances that were always like sought after. Like Black Panther makes an appearance in the Avengers, or Black Panther makes an appearance in Fantastic Four or whatever. That was like really exciting for me as a reader anyways. I can't speak for everyone. He didn't really hit a stride until like I would say probably mid 80s or early 90s.
I wasn't much of an Avengers collector, but the few comic books that I read or I purchased, I remember Black Panther almost like guest starring the same as Moon Knight or Black Knight. They weren't a staple. They were part of the roster, but maybe, what do they call it? On the bench?
Yes.
Most of the time.
It was usually like either like a singular issue that he would make an appearance, or a couple of mini runs where he would run for 3 to 6 issues. He was never a long-standing member. But then again, like a lot of the original Avengers weren't either, except for some of the staples: Iron Man, Captain America, so on and so forth.
Was Hulk a staple, or was he also a fill-in?
He popped in and out of the Avengers, honestly. So like
That's what I thought.
he's been like a huge influence on the new movies and that kind of stuff. But to be honest, like depending on the writer and the artist, the Hulk kind of appeared and disappeared throughout the Avengers as well. I know for a fact, like in the 80s, early 80s, especially Namor was more of a staple in the Avengers.
That's right. I forgot about that.
So
Interesting. Okay, so for the theories about Wakanda Forever, okay, I apologize for not knowing this. Have they cast who T'Challa's going to be now?
they've not said who T'Challa is going to be yet, but there's like a lot of theories, like a lot of fan theories around it, and a lot of them are really exciting. So they mentioned that it could be Shuri, which
What?
she...
Oh, not another Thor loving. What the hell?
Yeah. So just
Jesus Christ.
from the footage they released, like just from the build, I don't believe it's going to be the same actress who plays Shuri fulfilling the Black Panther role just because of the build, right? She's far too small, and I know they could do a lot of things with like different effects and, whatever, but
Shuri is badass enough. I don't know why she has to adopt the other role. I'm pretty sure everybody understands the tragedy that is the story of the actor who played T'Challa. So why not cast a new person? I mean, they're going to do that for Wolverine, right? Hugh Jackman can't do that anymore.
right.
Everybody's going to accept the new Wolverine. Why? I wonder what the thought process is for them to not cast a new actor to replace that character.
Well, that's a good point, because like one of the other fan theories is that it could be similar to Moon Knight. The Black Panther god could select, what do you call it? A new, not alter.
Savior, representative,
Yeah.
avatar.
New avatar of the
go.
Black Panther god. So that's another fan theory that's kind of out there. They've also talked about how Killmonger could be resurrected, and some people are saying that's impossible. However, one of Michael B. Jordan's last lines as Killmonger was that he wanted to be buried at sea. And Namor, obviously, clearly makes an appearance in this movie.
I did not know that.
And they have advanced technology the same way that the Wakandans do, because they both have vibranium. So,
Did not know that either.
yeah, I mean, it could be that they resurrected Killmonger in the same way that they resurrected Black Panther in Black Panther.
But why would they make him the leader of Wakanda since he was a bad guy? Do you think he's going to have a different moral stance after his resurrection?
I think it's very possible, because Bucky had a different moral stance after he spent some time with the Wakandans as well.
Okay. That's a really good argument. I'm not going to fight you on that one. All right. What else do we have to look at for Wakanda Forever? What other surprises?
So a lot of people have speculated that there's going to be an appearance of Doctor Doom in this movie, which may or may not happen. I think as far as the phases and stuff that Kevin Feige has set up, it may be a little too early to bring in Doctor Doom. I could be wrong, because they did set up Thanos in the first Avengers movie, which was a solid 6 or 7 years before they actually fought Thanos. So I think it's a little too early, though.
I would have to agree with you. They just set up Kang the Destroyer in Loki. Then you're going to bring in Doctor Doom. It sounds like you're burning two massive bad guys in the same storyline. I don't know. I'm sure they could pull it off. I don't know if that would behoove them.
Yeah, so you've got Secret Invasion and then Secret Wars, which Doctor Doom is a huge part of Secret Wars, and so is the Beyonder, which could potentially be played by Henry Cavill. Who knows?
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's so much stuff going on right now, and they released so much content for the next 5 years, and we know so very little. So everything's kind of a guess at this point, but I would say it's probably going to be a little too early to kind of bring Doctor Doom out in Wakanda Forever. I would say that we'll see a huge battle between Namor and his constituents and then the Wakandans, and then there should be some sort of reuniting of those two nations, and it could be in the face of a baddie. Right, I don't know who that bad guy would be, though.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. All right, well, thank you for the fan theories. Like I said, this is going to be rapid fire, so we are going to wrap this up and head over to our next topic.
That's it. That's our show. Join IEG and myself for our next rapid fire episode where we will be discussing what we collect and why we collect it. Please do us a favor and like, subscribe, share this podcast so we can get some traction. Once I get around to it, check us out on our socials. Combative Nerds on Patreon, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You know the deal. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you next episode.